We're back a little off schedule this week on a Wednesday instead of a Monday, but nevertheless, we are back and excited to share episode 80 with you guys. Zach, I'm AJ. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. So we have our Did You See It as always, and then there was a NBA All-Star weekend this week, and as much as you and I disagree on NBA, this is one thing I share the same belief in, is that they had to do some kind of adjusting with that. It's because it's
MLB
turning into NFL.
All-Star festivities in game is by far the best,
Yes, it
without a
is.
doubt.
I
Like,
agree.
not even contest, in my opinion.
Because the NFL Pro Bowl has gotten out of control. I mean, it's been bad for
They
years,
play
and then
flag football.
NHL is really bad too. Yeah, they play flag football. That's right. But we're gonna. There's a little white boy that saved that entire weekend in the
But still, at
NBA.
the same
So
time, like, yeah, he did dunked and all that, but it's like I knew Mac McClung. Well, he played in college for like 3 years. And then I remember watching videos of him in high school, him
yeah,
dunking. But it's not
yeah,
like the big name like in baseball. They have Shohei's out there doing the home run derby, or Julio
hmm
Rodriguez, or
hmm
all the big guys are out there hitting dingers.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna save what I think about what because I have a couple ways they can probably adjust it to make it better. So I'm going to save that for when we get there. But here in St. Louis, the Blues have committed. They've finally committed one way or another. This time they're committing to a complete rebuild, a complete change. It seems like that's the direction we're going. And then we're going to finish off with our MLB top third baseman for 2023. We usually do two positions per episode, um, but we're kind of caught up pretty much on
Yeah,
positions. We only have like the outfield after this, so
and
might as well just do
DH.
one. Oh, I forgot about DH. That's right. Yeah, DH. So we can get it started with our Did You See It's though. I have two really quick ones here. Zach, did you see that the XFL has started this weekend and
Hmm.
Cacaw, the St.
Yes,
Louis
Battlehawks.
Battlehawks, huge
AJ
comeback win.
McCarron, probably the MVP of the league. I already put in my future for the Battlehawks to win the Super Bowl, so I'm pretty excited about that. But
Okay.
I think
All
we
right.
got a great chance to compete with the NFC and the AFC. So yeah,
Yeah. So how many games do they play in the XFL? Is it
I have
10?
no idea. Maybe 10.
I don't know either. I think it was like 10 or 12 or somewhere around there. So how do you feel about the rule changes they have in the XFL though? Because that's how
Kind of
we
like it.
won.
Well, we
It's
wouldn't have
weird.
won without the rule changes.
Exactly.
I kind of like the 4th and 15 just because they changed the onside kick so much that it's no fun anymore. You can't get a running start. Like, yeah,
It's
safety,
impossible.
but you signed up to like run into people. I don't know.
The main three rule changes that I saw is the 3-point conversion
Hmm.
possibility. I'm kind of whatever
You
about that.
go, you
What about you?
go, you either go for 1 point from the 2 yard line, 2 points from the 5 yard line, or 3 points from the 15.
Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent with that. I don't see any problem really.
Yeah,
I kind of like the kickoffs.
I do too. Because it makes it, at least they run it back.
Yes, exactly. And they kind of prevent any type of serious injury because people aren't getting a
Yeah.
running start. But yeah, you actually see kickoff returns happen, which is
Hmm.
dope. And then what's the last one we just my mind just went blank that we just discussed? Oh, the 4th and 15.
Yeah, the onside kick thing.
I love that. I've been wanting that for
Mhm.
years because, like you said, onside kick. It's like literally impossible now to do anything.
If they would adopt and go back to the old onside kick, I'd take it over because you just see people get leveled, which is always very fun to
Yeah.
watch.
So what is the difference? It's they can't go until
You
the
can't on
past 10 yards.
kickoffs now. You can't. Well, they scooted it up, and then you can't get a running start. You have to stay still until the kicker hits it. Because you used to like when the kicker started going, you'd like time up and run and time it up when he'd kick it. Because then there'd be flags like if a guy was cross the line before he kicked it. But now you just have
Yeah.
to stand still.
Do you think 4th and 15, if they adopted that in the NFL, do you think that's something they could get away with, or should it be longer? Like, is that long enough? 4th and 15?
I feel like that's pretty hard to get.
Unless you're the Chiefs and
Yeah.
you get it like every single time down.
I guess you can make it longer, maybe like 4th and 20.
I was thinking 20. Yeah. But yeah,
I
mean, I'm
also like how they
kinda
when they review stuff, they have like the review official like literally talking to the ref and explaining everything that they're
yeah,
looking at, and it
yeah.
makes it go
I like
faster.
that
And
too.
I think they have one like golden challenge, not like a normal challenge, but to challenge like an officiating call they can only use once, so they can challenge a holding or pass interference
Mhm.
or something.
It's not terrible competition. Like, if you look at all the roster, it's guys that played D1 everywhere. It's guys that have been in the NFL for years. McCarron won what, back-to-back rings with Alabama, correct?
I think so.
I think that's what they said. So, yeah. And then my other, did you see, it was actually another thing here based in St. Louis. This Saturday is the season opener for St. Louis SC.
Hmm.
So hopefully we see
Is
Johnny
it at
Klein
home?
on the pitch. It is at home.
It's going to be
Yeah,
packed.
it is at home. No, I'm fired up for it. And that's actually, I had to mention that about the XFL. The Battlehawks played on the road this week, and I can't tell. It was in San
It
Antonio.
looked like the
The
crowd was pretty
Brahmas.
good.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They I couldn't tell if they amped up the sound because it
Hmm.
sounded really loud in there for just like the lower level.
Yeah,
It was loud, but
in the
still is
Alamo
like,
Dome.
yeah.
It
The
looked
do you
all
know
the
do
all
do
the
you know
games that I saw looked like the crowds were pretty good.
yeah.
They
Yeah, I
moved. I
think
know they
people were
moved
excited.
teams from because they did have a team in L.A., Tampa, New York, and those were the least like teams that brought in the least amount of uh fans. Which the LA one surprised me because there's such like big football fans there, so that was weird. But then they moved them. But I think it looks pretty popular. I think there's a lot of people who liked it on Twitter and stuff. Like I'm gonna tune in. Like I was
Yeah.
busy this weekend. We'll get to that soon. But uh, yeah, I'm excited to watch it next weekend. I don't know who we play. I'll look it up real
Yeah.
quick.
Do you know what a Brahma is? Because we just played the Brahmas. Do you know what a Brahma is?
It's probably like I don't know if it's real. It may be um like a mythological creature, maybe.
I think it's some kind of bull. I
Yeah,
don't know if
I
it's
don't know
like
if it's
a
real
fake.
though.
Yeah, exactly. I
Ooh,
was
we
gonna say I
play
don't know if it's a real thing
Thursday.
or not. Well,
This
Thursday night
Thursday,
football.
9 o'clock on FX, and we play. Who are you going to cheer for on this? We play the Sea Dragons.
I knew you were gonna say that.
We do play the
So
Sea Dragons
Thursday
though.
night, 9 Eastern.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I'll watch maybe like a half, a quarter.
That's a late one. That's a late one. No, that's exciting, man. That's exciting. But no, with the MLS, our first game this week. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can find it here
I
real quick
gotcha.
though.
I'll find it.
Yeah, help me out there. But no, I'm very excited. I guess the whole MLS season really starts on Saturday because there's every single team's playing. We
We
got
play
Austin,
Austin,
right?
Austin, Texas.
What Austin FC, I guess.
Yeah, none of this. No soccer team really has a mascot. They're just like soccer club.
Yeah, I know. I just realized that as I was looking there, but no, it's a home game. Our actual actual game. They've been doing a lot of like preseason type stuff and like playing just kind of exhibition type stuff. But this is the real deal. So
Hmm.
I'm kind of excited, not gonna lie. I'm not a big soccer fan. You
Yeah,
aren't either, but we're
I don't
gonna get
know.
into this.
It's on Apple TV too. Like it's free on Apple TV. So
Okay. So everybody should be able, if you download it, to
yeah,
access it. No, that's all I had. A couple big St. Louis news this week.
yeah, it's exciting. So my did you see it? My first one is this dumb rule that the MLB has where a position player may pitch if they changed all of this, so they can only pitch if the game is in extra innings. Stupid. If in the ninth inning when they're trailing by 8 or more, and the ninth inning when leading by 10 or more. Who cares?
Why?
it's not like they're putting him out there when it's a close game. I don't really get it. I just think it's dumb, but
Sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties. I had to move locations here, so I'm no longer in my little man cave there. So, but Zach,
is
you were
this
on
your
to your Did You
room?
See It?
Nice curtains.
It's not. It's not my room. That'd be a big window for a
Yeah.
room. No, but you were on. Did you see it? You were talking
Yeah, I was
talking some
talking
baseball.
about the position player. I kind of talked about it while you were cut out for a while. So like
Okay,
just want to hear
good.
your thoughts about how they can only pitch if the game is in extra innings in the ninth inning when trailing by 8 or more, in the ninth inning when leading by 10 or more.
So every rule change Manfred makes, and his whole group makes, there's always some reasoning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I don't know the reasoning besides maybe just competitiveness or something.
Yeah.
I don't get that. It baseball's fun. You're supposed to add some
It
fun
doesn't
to it.
it doesn't really like I don't like it makes no impact. Like when a position player comes in, like the game's gonna be that big anyway. I just don't know why they have to set a rule for it. It's kind of silly. But I just feel like he's
The
just adding so many rules.
I don't know if you saw this, but like they made the bases bigger this year. At first, I thought it wasn't a big deal.
Hmm.
People say it's like a pizza box size
Really?
almost. Like it looks. If you look, you could put a whole old base on the new bases, and it looks like
Huh. I'm
I don't know. It's
excited to
gonna be a little
watch and see
funky.
what it looks like.
I know. I just don't want it to be like looking like a clown game or anything like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Um,
Um.
yeah.
Yeah. So I got a couple more. Did you see it's Oh my gosh. Oh, there was a video of Jordan Walker hitting batting practice. That was very exciting for me. And then also Jordan Hicks throwing to Wilson Contreras from like kind of on the ground, but kind of a good angle of what a batter would see. And I'm watching it right now, and it is very fast.
I didn't know which pitcher was throwing.
Oh, you didn't see the comment?
No, what was it?
Wait, what?
I didn't see so whenever I saw the video, it looked like both pitchers were throwing to the same catcher.
Oh, gotcha.
And then the the video ended, I think, before the one pitcher threw, and then I was like, "What was that all about?" And then I replayed it, and I saw how fast that
That's
came
funny.
in. It's insane.
And then other did you see it is did everyone see the Daytona 500? It was amazing. My parents were down this weekend and we spontaneously bought Daytona 500 tickets on Sunday morning. It's only about like an hour away from here, so it's not a far drive at all, but I highly recommend anyone to go to it. It was awesome. Just the stands holds like 100,000 people, but it looks so big because it's stretched out over the whole front stretch. So like it's just massive. It was completely sold out and packed. And then you get there, they have free parking in this huge grass lot that's just for the Daytona 500. They have all these school buses and other buses just ready to load you up. They go down this dirt like gravel road to the track that's literally only for used for this. Like it takes you straight from this part, like dead straight to this lot, like you're crossing other roads. And then they drop you off at a Bass Pro, very fitting. Um, and then you walk across and it's just gigantic because it's the whole grandstand you're outside of, and they have all these tents with like food, beer, uh, like games you can play. All the car dealerships like Chevrolet, Toyota, because one they have cars in the race. They're all out there. They're showing new cars and stuff. They got all kinds of like games. Oh my gosh, merchandise. Like each team, they have like trailers with their race drivers' merchandise, and then just the original NASCAR and their merchandise. Um, it was sick. And then also the greatest part is at Daytona 500, you pay to get in. You can bring a soft-sided cooler like 14 by 14, and then a backpack. You can bring anything. You don't. You can bring your own beer. You bring your own beer, own food, own drinks, literally everything. Just stuff it in this cooler. They're not super strict. I barely always unzip my thing. They're like, yeah, you're good. Go ahead. I'm like, sweet.
Huh.
It's like sick. So like instead of buying an $11 beer inside the stadium, you can buy like a 24 pack of Bud Light for $20. And then you're just sitting there watching racing for a while, which it's really cool because the cars are so loud. You got earplugs. Um, like I went, so they break it up into stages in NASCAR. They still do all the 200 laps at Daytona. Depends on which race you're at, but they have different stages for number of laps just for drivers that they're leading during that stage. They get a certain number of points to go towards what their like cup, whatever their cup is. But then they still like it just continuously adds on the laps until like 200. But it was pretty fun, especially when they pit because like different groups of cars pit at different times. So then like 10 cars pit and then like the other 20 cars are still going around and those cars come out of the pits and they're on like all the cars are on like different parts of the track. So it's like kind of confusing. But then after everyone pits, because they're all going around the same speed and they pit takes around the same time, then they all bunch up back together. It's really fun. And then Daytona is like a super speedway, so they go up like 200 plus, and they're like really close together the whole time. So it was awesome. And then we had some wrecks at the end. Like it was right before the white flag for the final lap. There was a wreck, and it was like 190 some laps left, so they had to go into overtime in NASCAR, which was oh my gosh, you had a race. You got the green flag, you make a lap, then you get the final lap, and then you're done. And so they did that first overtime, another wreck. And so you had, if you wrecked before the final lap, the white flag, then you had to like redo the overtime again. So they had to redo the overtime again. And then you got the white flag, and then there's a wreck on the final lap. But if there's a wreck on the final lap, whoever's in first when the caution flag comes out is the winner. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. won. Congratulations to him. I was rooting for Jimmy Johnson making his return, or Kevin Harvick, who's retiring. I actually know a lot of NASCAR drivers. My dad would watch it when I was like little every once in a while, so I like know the drivers. But I would say honestly just the whole like pageantry. So like we're getting there. We didn't really know what to expect. We get there. Dierks Bentley, big country singer, literally doing a concert like in the stadium before like the race. So like saw Dierks Bentley in concert. That was sweet. Also funny. I don't know. He brought like a kid up on the stage. I don't know if it was his son or something, but one of his songs is like sitting on a beach and like drinking like a beer. And so this person like throws him a Busch Light. So he takes a drink and then he gave it to the kid just to like hold it. And then the kid like started to go drink, like take a drink. He like stopped. He like looked at him. He's like, "What are you doing?" But that was hilarious. But then probably the best part was the Thunderbirds, which are like Air Force. I don't know what they call it. Like I don't know, like a group in the Air Force. I don't know if it's a division, like a specialty. I don't know. But they literally did like an air show. Like they came over during the national anthem, flew direct. So like here's the grandstands. They flew like directly like perpendicular to the grandstands, like directly over the thing. And they were like close to the top of the thing. They flew over and then we're waiting there and they're like, and then they come back, they like circle around like behind. You could like had to turn back, you barely saw them. And then they did different shows. They had one of them go by and put on like their afterburners. It was like so loud. Then they like got in their formation where they made like a triangle. There was like 5 of them. It was sweet. Like I would go back. It was awesome.
You know, this might be the most excited I've ever seen Zach talk about anything in my life.
It was awesome. Kaylee loved it too.
This is more.
Have you
seem
seen the
more
movie
excited
Ricky
than
Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's fun.
This is more excited than he ever talked about baseball, football, his wedding.
Not the wedding.
Zach's fired up.
It's just something I've never
up.
experienced. Like I had no like
Yeah.
I had no idea what was gonna happen or like no expectations, and it was pretty sweet. Like it is like the Daytona 500's kind of like the Super Bowl of racing or the Masters of golf. It's awesome. And I guess I do have another. Did you see it after this? I'm sorry. You keep ask your question, please. I'll take your question.
No, I was gonna say, is this something that you can watch on TV? Is this something that you can get into watching on TV?
It's a lot more fun in person than watching it on TV. Just the sounds and just I don't know. Like the cars are so loud.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear the cars, you don't smell like the rubber.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like watch on TV is like still fun. If I watch on TV, I'll watch it during like the end of the race because that's when stuff gets exciting. Because like during the last like 10 laps, we're all standing up because there's It was getting tight. There was like a bunch of lead changes, people wrecking. It's pretty
Mhm.
exciting.
So you're into NASCAR and I'm into tennis. Those are our two sports
Yeah,
that are
I'll be
known
in
as,
that
you know,
next NASCAR
boring,
race.
but
I'll watch is next year's Daytona 500.
yeah. What was your other? Did you see it? You said
Oh,
you
I
had
don't
one more.
know if this is did you see it? Or I guess it is kind of a did you see it? You have Netflix, right?
You do.
And you're not into golf?
Not as much as I used.
Watch
Yeah.
Full Swing, the new Netflix documentary that came out. They previewed it during the Super Bowl. For me, who likes golf and like knows a lot of the guys, it is awesome.
Uh-huh.
It's like
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen Formula One Drive to Survive.
No, but now that you mentioned the golf one, I saw previews for it even after the Super Bowl.
It's really good because they kind of cover a golfer each episode and kind of go through the season, and then because of the Live tour starting up, it gets all into that.
Yeah.
So then there's like drama going on. Like the episode I just watched, they started. It was when like the first Live event started, and they played this song that was so funny. It was like a rap song, and it was like talking about people getting their bag because basically that's whoever went to Live. They just went there because they got paid like millions of dollars
Yeah.
and like guaranteed money. But it's really good. I think they should do that. Like Netflix should do that for like every sport
Hmm.
because
No, I like that idea for sure.
it's really good.
Yeah. I might have to check that out. I definitely like the idea of like fans getting a look into what a daily life is. It's kind of like that, like a daily life type of thing.
Kind of, yeah. It followed like some like they'll be with their family to show kind of stuff on the course and off the course. But like the Drive to Survive, I watched all their seasons that they've had so far. So like I know all the Formula One drivers and like their career, their cheat. I follow Formula One on Instagram and I like see updates and stuff. Like, oh, sick.
Formula One's like the European,
Yeah, they
like
go to like different countries. They're racing in. They usually race in Austin every year, and they raced in Miami last year for the first year, and then this year they're gonna race in Austin, Miami, and then they're racing in Las Vegas, right down the strip, by like the Bellagio and all that. So I kind
mhm,
of want to watch that just to see. It's just cool to see like the cities too, like if they're driving right in the middle of a city.
yeah. Is that all you had? Did you see it wise before we move on?
Yeah.
Had to make sure.
My like
All
10
right.
minute. Did you see it?
No, yeah, you were fired up, bro. I love to see it. Um, so in the NBA, there was All Star Weekend this week. It's part of it's kind of like MLB. People say it's the middle. Everybody thinks it's the middle of the season. It's not.
Yeah.
Like there's in MLB, it's usually around like the 90 game mark or 100 game
It's
mark.
like a little bit past halfway.
Yeah, and in NBA, it's more than a little bit because there's only 23 games left in the season.
Mm.
So I mean, it's almost it's a sprint right when they get back on Wednesday and Thursday here. But so it started on I guess Saturday night with the I guess Friday night was
Albert's
Friday
time
night
to shine.
was yeah the celebrity All Star game, which it's fun because you think I mean some of them are athletes like DK Metcalf won MVP. He
Well,
had a
yeah,
few
because
really he's a
yeah.
freak. Yeah. But then you have like Janelle Monáe, the singer and actress. She looked like she never has done anything sports involved in her life. She had no athleticism, no like it was pretty funny. Like Guillermo off Jimmy Kimmel was in it. It's like, oh my gosh, dude.
I
And of
don't, and
course,
it's like sold out too.
I know, I know. And the one shot he took, he wedged it in between the rim
Really?
and like
Like
of
I just
course he
don't
does.
get. Like I know people are like, I know in LA they literally have companies that take people around to look at for like celebrities' houses and literally look for celebrities.
It's crazy.
Like
Yeah.
when the All Star game was in St. Louis for baseball, like we didn't go to the Celebrity All Star softball game. I could care
Yeah.
less.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people go crazy over them for sure. And then after that was the Rising Stars game, which is always kind of fun because you get to see rookies, sophomore year guys like Scotty
Hmm.
Barnes was in it, Paolo Banchero, Jose Alvarado won the MVP, and he actually went crazy with. I'm not an Alvarado fan
I'm
per
not at
se.
all. He played at Georgia Tech, so I saw him in when he
That's
played in
true.
college.
That's true. Yeah, I do like the energy he brings, but all the little running up behind the guy, that type of stuff. I can't tell if that's cheap or not. Like I can't. I don't know. But Saturday night was 3-point contest, slam dunk contest, and then like the little kind of whatever
Skills.
it's called, skills challenge. Yeah, skills challenge. But skills challenge is kind of whatever. A
They
lot of
don't.
people
They
really
go
like
so
it.
slow. They go just like
I know. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that. 3-point contest. I'm a fan of that every year because I
yeah.
mean it's just guys drilling stuff. And Damian Lillard won it this year. Slam dunk. These last 5 to 10 years has been really awful. And
Hmm.
Mac McClung showed out this year. And honestly, all four contenders beside or three of the four, Jericho Sims didn't do anything, which absolutely blows because you and I know Jericho Sims can fly.
He's a in-game dunker.
He is. I
There's
know.
a
And
diff, like
that
he has a
was
50-inch vertical like
mhm.
in game. Like if it was in games and he like slams it over someone, everyone's going
Exactly.
crazy. Like it's.
Yep.
But
Well,
he's
we've
starting to play
also
more with the Knicks too, which I'm happy about.
yeah. No, he is. And we mentioned this at the beginning before I had the technical difficulties that I wanted to say how I think they could change like the slam dunk and all-star game to make it more entertaining. And with the slam dunk, I don't think you can do much. I know because there's a point, and we've reached the point where you can't do much else. Like we've seen
Mhm.
everything physically happen. MJ from the free throw line, Dr. J doing crazy stuff. Like we've seen all these crazy things happen. The only thing that I could think of that could make this slam dunk contest more entertaining is stuff that you don't see, like a little white boy like Mac McClung going
Yeah.
crazy like that.
You have to be
Everybody went crazy.
shorter to win the
Yes.
dunk contest because it looks better than if you're tall and dunk it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Like Nate Robinson those years was
Mhm.
flying and like they love that. What I was gonna say is the one way I could see them getting more hype around it, and you mentioned it, is getting those big name guys, John Morant, Anthony Edwards, to do it because they could put on a crazy show.
Yeah.
But I just don't
Zion.
know. I think they're worried about injury, and I don't know. It's really up to them. It's
Yeah.
really up to them. When it comes to the All Star game, these last couple years, it picked up in intensity because they changed up the fourth quarter rules. You had to score
Yeah.
24 for Kobe and all that. But at the end of the game, it got really tight, got defensive. This year, it was hard to watch. And I'm a super fan here of basketball, man, and it was hard to watch. Tatum did go crazy, repping St. Louis, had 55 All Star Game MVP, but it was
Most
really
points in All-Star game history.
it was really like he was drilling some threes that like added up to it. But defensively, that might have been the worst game you could watch defensively. There was absolutely nothing. And also it also sucked because Steph didn't play. Braun jammed his finger in the first half. Giannis was out with a sprained ankle or sprained wrist, I should say. Um,
KD didn't
there's a
play.
couple. Yeah, Kevin Durant didn't play. Like all those guys, and like Devin Booker didn't make it because he didn't play a lot earlier. Like a
When
lot of
Laurie
stuff.
Markkinen started in the All-Star game, something's wrong.
Like Zion was out because of that, and that's why Laurie was in. My way, my way to help intrigue people more about All Star Weekend, and they won't do it. I know they won't because there's like I'm afraid of. I think they won't just physically want to do this, but a one-on-one tournament would be the coolest thing, and it would be so hype. But
Yeah.
do they want to have that like dog to like do it? I just don't think they would
Hmm.
want to do that. I don't think they would want. And I saw Nick Wright, and Nick Wright of Fox Sports is a guy that I love and hate because he's always with the LeBron talk with me, but he also is a huge fan of the Chiefs, which it's like, yeah, it's like
I think he's
one way or
just
the other.
completely stupid.
Well, he said that the and JJ Redick said this also, and I'm a super fan of JJ Redick and his podcast, but he said that the players, and I think I posted this on Snapchat, but the players are the symptom, not the cause. And so a lot of people think like they just need to play harder, but he said we put so much emphasis on postseason success that they don't have. There's no reason to go crazy hard in an All Star game and risk an injury when you have 23 games left in the season, and it makes sense. And I know some years like the MJ years, the Kobe years, people go hard in the All Star game and just have that mental just they want to tear your heart out. One on
Mhm.
Iverson, all those guys. But it makes sense that like in an all-star game, it's all-star weekend. You think about all the rest of the league, they're just like sitting back on
Yeah.
their couch enjoying time with family. So it's a hard thing to like balance here because you as fans we want to see the best and the best go hard. But at the same time, you don't want to see Giannis go down with a torn Achilles, trying to dunk on somebody. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is your opinion on that? Because I'm kind of torn on what to even believe here.
I don't know. I think maybe uh did they do the Kobe target score at the fourth quarter again?
Yes, yes, but it was too far of a gap anyway. It wasn't close, and
I think they should just do like every quarter a target score, and whoever wins
Mhm.
gets money. It just like the score restarts every quarter. I don't know. At least they would compete
I,
more.
yeah, what they did this year and I guess the last couple of years is whoever wins the quarter gets charity money.
But they keep
Um,
their same points though, so if a team's up by
yeah,
20, they're still up by 20.
exactly. I think I agree. I think they should restart it um, and do like first one to 24, just
Yeah.
straight up. But like even if they didn't do one on one, do like what about like a tips game or
Yeah.
game to 21? Like those would be lit, like
Yeah.
John Morant getting a tip and like junking on somebody. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That'd
It'd
be
be fun.
sick.
But again, I don't know if they're gonna want to do it. But
Mm,
no, Mac McClung was flying though, man.
yeah.
Mac McClung, and a lot of people are like, "Who is this guy?" He's been so popular for years.
Yeah.
Like high school was dunking on people, college at Georgetown and Texas Tech. So I think
Horse.
huh?
You play a horse game.
Horse would be nice too,
Because you could
and
you
there's no
could
injury.
incorporate dunking if everyone can dunk.
Hmm.
Do some
I
crazy
like that
dunk.
because there's no injury. Like I mean, you're just shooting. That would be fun because you see like Dame and Steph from half court trying to match each
Yeah.
other.
And they
That would
just
be a
keep
lot of fun.
sinking it over and over again.
Yeah, no, that would be sick. Pull out a full court shot and stuff like that.
Like going in the
I kind of like
stands
that.
and shoot it from the crowd or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's a good idea. We'll have to send that to the NBA headquarters.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, sure
After
they'll
they hear
see
my
it.
comments about the NBA.
Yeah,
What you were
yeah,
saying about how like everyone is kind of just like the regular season doesn't matter, or that what isn't that what that guy was kind of saying? It doesn't matter
yeah.
until the
Well,
playoffs. Yeah, it's
hmm
because they let every team in the NBA get to the playoffs.
yeah.
They think it like incentivizes regular season, but like to me, it kind of disincentivizes the regular season because everyone's gonna make it.
Especially with the play-in. I will agree there. Especially with the play-in. That adds. I mean, you're talking about literally 20 of the 30 teams in the NBA are
More
making it.
than 50% make it to the postseason. That a postseason is like you have to earn it. You don't. It's not just given to you.
I know. Baseball's the one sport because hockey does it too. Hockey's up to 16 of the,
Hmm.
I guess 50%. 16 of the 32 make it. 8 and 8 each conference.
But
Um,
hockey's like
and
the
then
one I feel like that's different, where all those teams are like legitimately could win, the majority of them.
yeah, if you get in, it's about
Like
style of
NBA is
play for
different. There's
sure.
like a couple teams that get in the first round. You're like, yeah, this team has no shot.
I know. Yeah, that is true. This year, I've appreciated it more because there's definitely more diversity than like the
Hmm.
Warriors and Cavs years where
Yeah.
we all knew all year long. Um, like right now, it's tough because I want to say like the Suns, but they're not. They haven't even played a game together yet, and they have to build chemistry in the next 20 games.
I think
So
the Clippers are kind of going under the radar. The one year
for
where not a
sure.
lot of people talk about them, I don't know if
Hmm.
that's true or not, but they could like make some noise.
No, for sure. And I think Westbrook off the bench could really help them.
They have
And
Bones
there's
Highland too, which I think is very underrated. And if I was the Nuggets coach, I don't know why you wouldn't have put him more in the rotation because he can score drop like 20. But the
mhm.
Clippers have to be
Well,
very pleased.
I mean, the Clippers have great depth, great coaching. We know what it comes down to, though. It's those two guys.
Yeah,
Can they stay on the court? Can Kawhi
that's why
help?
they're not playing now.
Kawhi,
Regular
I
season
know.
don't matter. Literally, case in point, right here.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's tough. I know have problems with like load management, and I do to an extent have a problem with load management. I have a problem with I guess kind of like everybody else, I would agree. Like if people are just sitting out to sit out, um, I don't think you should do that because I like the mindset of there are people that want. I think Anthony Edwards actually said it this weekend. There are people that want to come watch you that may not have like financial capabilities to do so, and then they get that one chance and you're sitting out. It's tough, but also at the same time, Kawhi, for example, Kawhi's the best example of load management. I can't tell how much is him just sitting out or if it's actually like he's trying to
Yeah.
recover and make sure. I think as like we've all kind of whipped them all together with like load management. Um, like Giannis has missed over 10 games this year, but he's been like ailing injuries. Nothing serious, but stuff
Yeah.
that's just like that if you play through, there's possibility of worse things happen. So it's
Yeah.
I don't know. As everything though, it kind of just spirals out of control and it's crazy. But yeah, that's all I had. Slam dunk contest, 3-point contest, All Star game wise. Hopefully next year they do something because it's getting to the point where a lot of people are all on board
Yeah.
of like, eh. Um,
I think.
I also
Sorry, this is just getting very off topic
yeah.
of improving All-Star game festivities. I think the NFL should go back to what they did back in the day, like for their skills. Literally, just have the quarterback see how far they can throw,
Mm-hmm.
and just have like defense alignment bench press. I would love to see how much a guy could bench press, like 225 or something.
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah. Why'd they stop it?
I don't know. I think the long pass would be so fun.
Do they still do the targets?
The targets is not that bad where they have all the moving targets and they hit them. That's not awful. I kind of like that. I honestly the NFL skills is not bad. I do like the dodgeball a lot. I will say it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Didn't
But
Barkley get drilled in the head or something this year?
yeah,
I thought I saw Saquon got drilled,
but MLB is
but
the best.
MLB is definitely
I
the
do
best.
want MLB to incorporate like a defensive thing, really just outfielders throwing it from the outfield to home and either trying to hit like a target or just seeing how hard they throw.
I like that. I do like that. And we mentioned this, man, this probably was a year ago or so, but in Japan they do a bunting
Yeah,
contest.
that'd be kind of
That'd be
electric.
fun. That'd be fun.
That
Watching
would be.
Aaron Judge try to bunt it. Like what? You know who would win? It's Shohei Ohtani. He can do absolutely everything. You know he'd find a way to
Why do you say that?
get the W. I know it sounded racist now that I've seen it.
Yeah.
But no, it's literally because he does everything on the field. Is the Blues in our rebuild. I mean, there's nothing that says more of a rebuild than trading off your
Yeah.
staple in the organization, Ryan O'Reilly, your captain. What I was saying though was him. Noel moved to Toronto. They've already played a couple games there. Um, so they're in Toronto now. We also trade off Tarasenko, which we talked about already, and then I don't think it stops here. We Barbashev's probably gone. Pareko might be gone.
It's like
Falk
his
could be
first year in
gone.
an 8-year year contract though.
I know. Oh, you're talking
Pareko.
Pareko? Yeah, I know. I know. They locked him up. So we'll see. We'll see
I
what
thought
direction they
people
go
were
there.
saying that we may just re-sign O'Reilly in the offseason.
We could, but he lives an hour away from Toronto, and I think he might have that.
Hmm.
I feel like once he's there, and especially if they go on a cup run or something,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for him to move. He's got a loaded team over there, and he helps them out immensely on the defensive side, and gives them depth because he's not gonna. He's been playing on a top two line over there, but he doesn't have to with
Hmm.
Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander. They're pretty loaded. But with the Blues, man, we had our first game without them the other night, and we were down 5-0 and ended up losing 7-2 to the Ottawa Senators. So
Nice.
I will say in the trade we currently have 3 first round.
That's amazing.
We have ours, which is going to be could be a top 5 pick. I
Yeah.
mean, we're getting there now, and then we have I think we have the Leafs pick, which is probably going to be 30th or something, and then I think we have the Senators pick. No, we have the Rangers pick. That's what it was
Yeah.
from Tarasenko, and that one's probably going to be 28th or something like that too.
Yeah.
But
Late
we're
for
getting
sure.
we're getting we're in the Connor
Yeah.
Bedard like
Get in the
conversations,
lottery. Anything can happen.
which is awesome.
Do you think we need to
But
get
this is
defense? Because like
yeah.
it
I mean,
seems like that
definitely.
everyone's scoring on us.
Oh, we have yeah a very weak defensive group for sure. Kind of leaving our goalie out to dry all year. Um, it's all conversation for like it's not just other guys too. Like there's a Russian guy that's like supposed to be the next great thing of like Alexander Ovechkin. Like he's that good type of thing. And
Yeah, I'm not
like all
not
these
drafting Russian.
we have like all these all these great prospects coming in this year's draft,
Yeah.
but it's going to be the longest 22-23 game stretch
Mm-hmm.
ever coming up here.
Can we
But
trade
that's all I
Torrey
had to say.
Krug?
He's probably going to be on the move. Yeah, he's probably going to be on the
I
move.
say
He's
get
got a
like
big
10 first
contract.
round picks and just go young. Well, because Thomas and Kyrie were
Kyrie,
both like
yeah.
24, like our age. No, Thomas is like literally our age.
Thomas is 23.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
our
It's
age.
just is insane. But yeah, that's all I had NHL wise for this episode. I had to talk about O'Reilly, who's been just a staple here. That one kind of hit hard a little bit. Not
Yeah.
gonna Tarasenko, I was kind of done with, but O'Reilly's hit pretty hard. But we can wrap up this episode with our top 10 third baseman. I say wrap up like it's going to be a career, but we'll do our top 10 third baseman. I had two honorable mentions to start us off. One guy I mentioned off air to you that there's one guy that we've had in our list last year. I'm acting like we've been doing this for years now,
Yeah,
but
many years.
I think universally he's been on a lot of people's lists. And that's Ryan McMahon of the Colorado Rockies. I think third
Didn't even
base.
think of him, so he's not in my list either.
I think third base has gotten deeper with talent, and so he's not on my list. And then a really young guy that's only played 24 games in the major leagues, but I think he's going to pop off this year is Gunnar Henderson for the
Yeah.
Orioles. I did not put him on my list, but he is going to be
I
there
didn't
for
know if he
years
was
and years
gonna
to
move
come.
to because isn't he like traditionally a shortstop?
Yeah, I kept seeing him on third base list, so I didn't know
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
because when we did shortstop, we didn't put Bobby Witt.
Yeah, because he played third last year, but now he switched him back to shortstop. But I don't think I'd put him on.
I don't think so
Honestly,
either.
Loki, I know Jeremy Pena had a great good year, but the potential of Bobby Witt I feel like is a little bit more than Jeremy Pena, like hitting wise at
For
least.
sure.
But Bobby Witt's defense is not good at all.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
I
we also
agree.
forgot Luis Ariz, remembered on second base. So yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna let that one just pass on by. Do you have any big names that you left off of this list?
Uh Justin Turner and Max Muncy.
Okay. It's I don't I personally I don't have a problem with that. Turner's older, Muncy's looks washed at this point. We'll see if
Mm-hmm.
he bounces back. But I can get us started though. I want to get us started with Yandy Diaz as my number 10. Yandy was really high on the shredder list. I think he was even number 7 maybe on the shredder, as we know how the shredder is so reliable. But he had 9 homers, 57 RBIs last year, 296 average, 824 OPS, 3.5 WAR. Which you look at the offensive numbers, besides the power, and they're really solid numbers.
Really good.
There's two things with Yandy that surprises me. One, the dude's yoked, like he's
Mm-hmm.
huge, and he has 9 homers. That surprised me first of all, and also defensively, this is why he's not higher on my list. Minus 19 defensive runs saved. Minus 19.
Just
That
saw that.
is
Didn't
that is
realize that.
worst. Yeah, worst on this list by a long shot, actually, by over 10 runs. So he's my number 10 solely because of the offense. I had to show him some love. But definitely my top 9 here are definitely more defensively sound than him.
Yeah, because of that. Oh man, debating where I should switch him. But my number 10 is Eugenio Suarez of the Mariners. 3.9 WAR, hit 31 homers, 87 RBIs. Led the American League in strikeouts with 196. So
Mhm.
he's a home run strikeout kind of guy. Batted 236, 333 on base, which is not bad for hitting 31 homers. I'd take that.
Mhm.
I'd take that out of Nolan Gorman.
Yeah.
But just his power is just so good, and his fielding's not great. Like he had -2 defense run saved, which is not terrible. Which like I'd take that if your third baseman's just hitting bombs. But yeah, he's my number 10, and I got WRC plus again. His WRC plus is 112. I think the strikeouts really didn't help him in that category at all.
It's above average though. We'll take
Yeah.
above average there. My number 9 was Eugenio Suarez, and 31 homers, 87 RBIs, like you mentioned. And he had 2 massive years in Cincinnati. Do you remember that?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like 46 and 100, and like leading the league in homers. And I think over the last 5 years, I think I saw a stat that he was the league, he's led the MLB in homers over the
Yeah.
last like 5 years, which I don't think a lot of people would guess. Got light tower power for sure. Like you said, though, 236 averages last year. Like to see that raise a little bit. -7 defensive runs saved. But overall, he's definitely a guy that brings some power to that much needed offensive lineup in Seattle.
hmm So my number 9, I made a last second switch because I didn't realize his defense stats were that bad, and then it's Yandy Diaz, who I think is still super underrated. 296 batting average, 401 on base percentage. That's pretty good. OPS 824. Um, like you said, only 9 homers, which is very surprising. I think he kind of batted high in their order too. I think maybe.
He'd be bad leadoff for a while.
Oh, did he? He only had 60
Mhm.
strikeouts last year. I know he's in like the top percentage, and he's like in the lowest percentile in like whiff rate or something, or striking
Mhm.
out, and then the highest in walk rate or something. But you said his defensive WAR was terrible. His offensive WAR was 5, but his defensive WAR was negative 1.4. So
Yeah.
that didn't help. But one thing that I almost had him higher, or I did, is his WRC plus is 146, which is the third highest on this list, just because his ability to walk and get on base, and he scored quite a bit of runs, 71 runs, drove in some runs, just 33 doubles. So like he just kind of does a little bit of everything on the offensive end.
Just imagine if he had some power, because he has a 400 on base. Imagine if
hmm
he could, man, his OPS would be out like over a 1 even. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. My number 8, and you had 10 and 9 switched with me, so we're pretty close so far. So
Nah,
you and
not
I were
10 to
kind of
9.
worried.
I had Yandy was my 8, and I switched him to 9.
Oh, okay, okay. So I mean, we talked about how off air that 1 through 6 we thought was going to be pretty similar here. Number 8 for me is arguably the best defensive third baseman to baseball. That's Cabrian Hayes.
I had him at 8
Love.
too.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I love me some Cabrian Hayes, man. Only 7 homers, 41 RBIs, about 244, 659 OPS is not great. Did have a 4.3 WAR though, and 26.
His WRC plus was 88. By far
Ooh,
the worst I've seen.
I think he's going to develop as an offensive
He
player
just
though.
didn't walk at all. Like he had 314 on base, which isn't good, and he didn't slug that much either.
Mm. I think he's going to develop. I really do. And he's only 25 or 26, I think, still.
Yeah,
Um,
26.
so I think he can still develop into a hitter that the Pirates can build around. And you look at
But
that
what's
left side of the
crazy
infield.
is his WAR was 4.3, which was higher than Yandy and Eugenio Suarez, and his offense was that bad because his defense was so good.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
His defense WAR
Yeah,
was 3.
him and O'Neal Cruz. And I forgot to mention the other week that we did shortstops. O'Neal Cruz was almost on my list just because I think this year's going to be great for him,
Yeah.
and I'm a huge fan. But
Did you say
I
that he
wish
led uh, all of baseball in defense runs saved?
I didn't say that, but I
Because he
think the
is. He
26
did.
has to. Okay, I was about to say 26 has to.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. So we agree there on number 8. Now this is the one part of the list where
7.
either
Let's
this
see
guy
if we
didn't.
agree.
I know either he didn't make your list or 7. There's no other. He's not higher than 7. That's Matt Chapman of the
Yep.
Toronto Blue Jays. That's awesome. So
Number
yeah, Matt
7.
Chapman, 27 homers, 76 RBIs, only 229, 757 OPS, only 2 defensive runs saved, which
Yeah, it's
surprised me for
weird.
a guy that's so electric like that. What do you got on Matt Chapman?
Yeah, just I was looking at his offensive stats, and I'm like, a guy who plays like you want to like his defense is good. Like it's defense run save, but we know he's a Gold Glover. Like a guy who's a Gold Glover hits 27 homers, 76 RBIs, even though his batting average is kind of crappy and his on base isn't. It's decent, 324. Like I'd take that as a third baseman. Um, like I still think he's elite defender as well. His WRC plus was 117, so not super high. Uh, Chapman, Hayes, and Suarez had low, and then everyone else's numbers are just ridiculous.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think he's good. I'm interested to see how he's going to hit this year. But if you look at his previous stats, he's always kind of been like a 230 guy with a low
Yeah.
on base percentage and hits homers.
Yep. Also, high school teammates with Nolan Arenado, which I
Mm-hmm.
don't think a lot of people know. That's kind of crazy that two of the best defensive short or third basemen ever came from the same high school.
Yeah, it's
So this
crazy.
is top 6, and I'm looking at it, and I know our number one's going to be the same, and I think our list is pretty going to be. It might be perfect. It
Let's
literally
see.
might be
I'm
perfect.
hoping you put this guy at 6.
Then yes, it is. It has to be. My number 6 is Alex Bregman of the Houston
Yes.
Astros.
Yes.
Yeah, so last year kind of dropped off a little bit. 23 homers, 93 RBIs, 259. 93 RBIs is still great.
His
Obviously on
average
a
just kind of
powerhouse team.
dipped, but his
Yeah.
on base percentage
OP,
was higher, so he kind of yeah. So the year before he had a higher batting average and lower on
yeah.
base, but this year he had lower batting average, higher on base, higher slug, higher OPS. So still,
-4 defensive runs saved.
which is surprising because he was always like a good defender. I always thought.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah,
if I when we do our predictions for the season, I just have a bold one, and I think he's going to be in the MVP conversation. That's crazy
Alex
bold,
Bergman.
maybe. I think he's going to pop off. Hmm.
I don't like him, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I don't think so. But
Why don't you like him? Is it the LSU thing, or
I
what
don't
is it?
know. He just like I just look at his face. He's just kind of cocky, and then I know the the cheating scandal was a long time ago, but he was annoying during that, like when he was getting
Mhm.
interviewed about it, and
That's
just
true.
I don't know.
That's true. Dang, yeah. Our top 5 is going to be the exact same. I just have a
Yeah.
feeling. Maybe not
But
though.
wait.
Maybe
Hold on.
not.
Let me. His WRC plus was 136, so
That's pretty good.
the
Okay.
lowest out of the top 6 guys, lower than Yandi's too.
So this is where I think our top 3 are the same for sure. 4 and 5 might be switched.
Yeah,
So we'll see here. My number 5 is Austin Riley.
I got
Okay, I know who
Devers,
yours is. Yeah, okay. So yeah,
and
Riley,
I
38
have
homers.
reasons to back it up once it's my turn.
All right. So these two is what I had a long time trying
Yeah.
to figure it out. And really, if you're looking at stats based off last year, you got to give the nod to Riley. I'm going to put Riley 5, but I'll explain that in a second. Riley 38 homers, 93 RBIs last year, 878 OPS, 6.5 WAR, which is great. 0 defensive runs saved, so literally as average can get. The reason I put Devers above him is because I really think Devers is going to just blossom even more this year. But you could say the same thing about Riley because
hmm
Riley's about the same age, right? And showing that trajectory of
Uh,
going up.
yeah. Devers is 26. Riley is 25.
25?
But he turns
Yeah,
his birthday's in April, so they'll both be 26 at the same time.
gotcha. So why Devers below Riley?
Um, I think so. I was debating going back and forth. I really wanted to put Devers over him, but
Hmm.
I think Riley's defense is better. I know you said he had what I know defense run saved is different. Like on Baseball Reference, they gave him like a positive defense run saved. So I
Yeah,
think his defense is a little bit better than Devers, who Devers has improved, but
yeah.
also just Austin Riley's year last year, he had more homers, um, more RBIs, more doubles, which that's Rafael Devers like thing. Wait, no, he had less doubles. He had like 2 less doubles. He led the league in total bases. Um, I don't know if the WRC plus he had 2.142 WRC plus compared to Rafael. They're like very identical. I almost put him like just
Hmm.
at the same spot.
Hmm. That's
Um,
funny. I did the same thing. That's crazy.
like they're very similar. Like I think they're always going to be this like tight. Devers has had better years previous. Like he's had one more year, like better year than Riley, but
Mhm.
Riley's put together 2 pretty good years, really durable. Well, I guess they're both super durable. I don't know. It was tight, but I gave Riley the nod just because of how good he performed last year. But I like still going back and forth because Devers has better batting average and on base, but Riley has more power and RBI. So it's like,
I know. It's like really, what do you want?
yeah.
What do you prefer? So yeah, I had Devers number
Out
4,
of
and
personal opinion, I picked. I don't like the Red Sox that much either, but I don't know.
Devers.
Just something about like a left-handed guy swinging the bat just gets me excited.
It's a pretty swing too, man. And yeah, he like you said, he had a higher average, less homers, just about the same RBIs, a couple less there. Literally one less in the percent, like in the 879 OPS. Riley had
Mm.
878. I mean, it's that close.
They're like identical.
Riley,
It's crazy.
I know, yeah. And so it's really, do you want the more power? And I think Devers is more of a universally known name because
Yeah.
he's the guy in Boston. Riley's got Acuna and Ozzy and Swanson for years, and Freddie Freeman for a
Which
couple
also,
years.
if you
So,
think, yeah, because he's kind of been protected more too,
hmm
I would say.
so yeah, man, it's close though. But yeah, I had Devers 4, and you had Riley 4.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
close.
interchangeable though, like you said. So yeah, these top 3 though, I guarantee you it's this order because I know how you work. I know how you work. Number 3, I'm gonna say it's our number 3, Manny Machado,
Mm-mm.
right?
I put him
Oh, no
too.
way.
Yeah,
You
I
put
didn't
your
want to,
biases
but
aside.
Manny's defense puts him a little higher than Jose.
Wow. I was not
I
expecting
wanted
that.
to. I
It's
love
it.
Jose more. Like out of
Hmm
personal likeness, Manny would not be on the
hmm
list probably.
Yeah,
I
man.
love
So Manny
Jose, but
was
just yeah, just the man, it was close. All
Manny
these
was
are
my 3
they're so good.
because because last year -3 defensive runs saved, which
Did
he
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 actually?
kind of.
I thought everyone's saying he should have won the Gold Glove.
I know they were, and then I mean, you can double check me on
Yeah,
this,
mine
but
Baseball Reference says -3.
yeah, and so I think he makes a lot of those Javi Baez crazy amazing plays that people are like,
Mhm.
"Oh my goodness!" But he makes a lot of mistakes, obviously too. But no, offensively, it was a dog last year. 32 homers, 102 RBIs, 298 average, 898 OPS, 6.8 WAR. But yeah, that -3 defensive runs saved is why I put him 3 instead of 2. But what was he, second or third in MVP voting? I
Second
think
in
he was,
MVP voting.
and Arenado was third, I believe. I think that's
Yeah.
correct. But you had your guy J Ram at number 3,
Yeah.
really?
A lot of people though in other lists have Manny Machado #1, which
That's crazy.
you're dumb. But he Manny Machado just had a slightly better offensive year than Jose.
Hmm
Like I would rather have Jose on my team just because he's a better guy. But like his Jose was 280, 355 on base, 29 homers, 126 RBIs, 44 doubles, led the American League. Manny had oh my god. I was scrolling way down. Manny had 298 batting average, 366 on base. His OPS was 898. Jose's was 869. Manny had 32 homers, 102 RBIs, like less RBIs than um, Jose. I don't know. It was tough. I wasn't happy putting Manny above him, but I felt like his year last year was like so good.
hmm
But also at the same time, I don't know how good he's going to be next year. I think he'll still be solid, but I hope Jose. I love Jose. Like
He's fun.
Manny did
Yeah.
have
So
the higher WAR, I believe. Yeah, 6.8. I think Manny's was actually the highest out of all the third basemen.
besides our guy.
Yeah, this what's weird is like I've seen other things that say Manny Machado was like higher than everyone, and then on Baseball Reference, Nolan's way higher than Manny. So like I have no
Hmm
idea which is which. Obviously, I think Nolan's higher, but
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
We'll get to Nolan in a second because
this
you
was
and I are
tough.
about to
But Jose,
gush.
one thing I like about Jose is he's never struck out more than 100 times in his career in a season,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty sweet in my opinion. Manny struck at
The
133.
the reason I had Jose Ramirez number 2, 29 homers, 126 RBIs in a lineup, and we said this with the Devers Riley conversation a second ago. He has no protection really. I mean, he's the guy. Manny Machado had Soto. When healthy, he has Tatis. Now he's got Bogarts. He's got
Well,
unreal
last year he
protection.
didn't though. Really.
Last year he didn't. You're right. But looking into 2023, Jose last year with a +2 defensive runs saved, and Jose's always been kind of just an average defender. But I don't have the stolen bases down here either. But I'm pretty sure J Ram would have more.
He had 20.
Yeah, I guarantee that's more than what Machado had
Machado
to have
had
been.
9. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say Machado had the highest WRC plus out of third baseman's 152. J Ram had 139.
It's another conversation. You can switch them around.
I think Jose has been like the highest. Oh my gosh. Accumulator of WAR in the past, over the past seasons for third base or something.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then number 1, man, our number 1, we could gush over for hours for sure. It's our guy, Nolan Arenado. Last year, third in MVP voting, 30 homers, 103 RBIs, 293 average. I thought he could just hit for average in Coors Field. I thought that's what they said.
Like statistically his best offensive year, really.
And
I know
defensively,
Coors, like he had all those
does.
crazy years, but it was like the Coors effect too.
Exactly. Yeah, 891 OPS, 7 point is what I have written down from Baseball Reference, and then 19
7.9.
Yeah,
7.9.
And then 19 runs saved, which is second to Brian Hayes on this list. So, and he obviously has won 10 straight Gold Gloves now.
10 straight, yeah.
Best defensive
way better. I think he's better defensively than Manny. Their offense is pretty similar, but the defense puts it ahead, in my opinion. But offensively too, he had more doubles. He had 2 less homers and 1 more RBI. Their averages, he had a little less average and on base, and his slugging was a little lower. But other than that, his defense was better. His WRC plus was 151, 1 less than Manny Machado. I don't know. Like, to me, he's the best third baseman. Like, no questions. Like, when I started this list, I put him number 1 and then filled out the rest.
Yes, I did the same. I did the same thing. I also think he is in the conversation for best third baseman ever. I don't think he is yet, maybe, but by the end of, if he wins like 5 more Gold Gloves here, like he has 15 Gold Gloves.
Keeps it. He has 1 more homer for 300. He could get to 400, I think. 100 home runs.
So too.
He's 31. His birthday is in April.
He'll be turning 32.
Yeah.
Or turning 31.
32.
Okay. Wish we had another year of younger Nolan there, but no. The thing is, a lot of people will probably see this list and say, "Oh, they're from St. Louis. They have Goldie 1 and Arenado 1."
Well, yes, we are biased, and we think that.
Yeah. I was gonna say to be fair, you and I have probably had Nolan number 1 for 5 years.
Yeah.
Why does no big list have him? Like you said, Shredder had him 5.
They had Manny 1. I don't even know if Jose Ramirez. I think hope Jose Ramirez was 2nd. I don't understand. Like, if you look at all the advanced stats, his WRC plus is 2nd. He won a Gold Glove. He had 19 defense runs saved. He had, I don't know. Doesn't make sense. Like, his defense runs saved per year is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the disrespect for Nolan Arenado, where that really comes from. To be fair, with anybody that doesn't have a number 1, it is a really good 1 through 6, like really stacked.
I think a lot of them could be Hall of Famers, like Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, even. Like, he's so young. Like, his stats, he's played 1 more year than Arenado, and his stats are like he doesn't have the Gold Gloves, and his home runs are a little less, but he's put together a lot of good years. And then Jose Ramirez just keeps dominating.
The fact that I have you and I have Bregman at 6, and I said he could be an MVP candidate
Yeah.
speaks for itself. Because I mean, we talked about the Riley and Devers. You could flip them. You could flip J. Ram and Machado. 1 through 6 is really. I mean, you look at the bottom half of the list, and you have Yandy, who's great offensively, Chapman, and get it done defensively. Eugenio Suarez has led the whole majors in homers the last few years, so it's like, it's a great list for sure. You and I bragged about the first baseman list. This one might give it a run for its money for sure.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
very
you have
top
the
heavy,
Vladdy.
but
Yeah.
once we get to a list coming up, it's going to be the best by far.
Ooh, outfield's gonna be fun. Outfield's gonna be fun.
Specifically
But
right field, because Acuna now plays right field.
Oh my goodness, Acuna, Betts, Harper,
Soto,
Soto.
Lars
I mean,
Nootbaar.
Center field's gonna be fun because you have obviously the Trout, but you also have J Rod
Michael
and
Harris.
Michael Harris. I
Cedric
like Brian
Mullins.
Reynolds. Like
Yeah.
that's
Dylan
a good list
Carlson.
for sure. I'm interested to see.
Where I put a certain someone in that list.
Yes, I'm interested to see where you put that someone in that list. That's gonna be funny.
I might
But
just leave
no,
them
thank
off
you
just
guys.
to make people mad.
Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.